Welcome into Bengals Breakdown. I am Tom Downey. Overreaction Monday is here after a very painful loss to the Houston Texans in NFL Week 10, and we'll break down the Trey Hendrickson injury news as well. But first, this is a safe space to vent however you feel the need to vent after that loss against Houston. Give me your one-word reaction to the Bengals loss against Houston. You guys ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Is that a show you watch, Bruce? Yeah. Remember when Captain Holt just goes, pain? That's my one-word reaction for that game against Houston. Let me hear yours in the comments section. All right, overreaction number one. The Bengals are in trouble without Trey Hendrickson. My take is that if he misses games, they are. This would not be an overreaction whatsoever. The news that came across the wire earlier today, Hendrickson was rolled up on late in the game. Noah Brown is kind of like stumbling, falling, and like falls back 3 yards and unfortunately rolls into Hendrickson's like kind of knee ankle. He has been diagnosed with a hyperextended knee. Now the hope is this will be a short-term injury and that he misses maybe one game, which is I don't think he plays against the Ravens. I would be shocked if he's out there 4 days later after a hyperextended knee, because the Bengals play the Ravens on Thursday Night Football this week. It's a short turnaround on the road against Baltimore, where they have yet to win a road primetime game in many years. Then it's home against Pittsburgh in Week 12. I'm going to have my fingers crossed, optimistic view. Hendrickson can come back for Week 12. Then it's the Jags on Monday night, Indy and Minnesota. Got a bit of a gauntlet here. You're in the middle of your really tough portion of the schedule. Gets a little bit easier after that. But Hendrickson would be a significant loss for the Bengals. He has been by far their best pass rusher. 8.5 sacks in 9 games played this year. You can combine all the other Bengals pass rushers this year. Sam Hubbard, Cam Sample, Myles Murphy, Joseph Ossai, and they don't have as many sacks combined as Hendrickson does. This would be a significant loss for the Bengals, even if it's just one game, knowing that it doesn't seem like Ronnie Stanley will play either for the Ravens. That would still be a very, very significant and heartbreaking, or not heartbreaking, but frustrating and difficult loss to deal with. So if Hendrickson cannot go, if that's the case, you need somebody to step up. Is it Hubbard, who missed last week? Is it Cam Sample, who's been a nice rotation piece on the inside? Is it your first-round pick, Myles Murphy? I thought it was going to be a Joseph Ossai breakout year. Duke can't even get on the football field. Someone has to emerge, at least in the absence of Hendrickson in the short term. So what is your panic level over the Trey Hendrickson injury? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. It's the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Overreaction number 2, this defense is overrated. They're not that good. Look, they did not deliver on Sunday. And that was a game where you can't be allowing 30 points to Houston and, all of the yards, and you're letting Devin Singletary, he's not that good, go for 150 yards and a TD on 30 carries. The Texans averaged 7.4 yards per play. That is elite numbers. That's some of the better ones you'll see this year, or this week, I should say, in a game. Like, you're averaging 7.4 yards per play, you are cooking with gas. C.J. Stroud wasn't as sacked one time for no loss, was 23 of 39 for 356. Yeah, you forced 3 turnovers. That's great. But you also allowed 5.5 yards per carry, a lot of time possession. Noah Brown and Devin Singletary cooked you. Those guys signed for like the vet minimum. Noah Brown 7 for 172. You left him wide open repeatedly. Tank Dell was fine. Dalton Schultz was good. You let Noah Brown cook you? Really? Yeah, CTB has the great interception that, gives the Bengals a chance late, and then Tyler Boyd makes a mistake. And when you lose by a walk-off field goal, there's a lot of blame to go around. It's what I call the one-play game. One play goes differently, totally different outcome. Your defense allowed too many of those one plays. Now, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. They are the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Here's why I love Prize Picks. It is just you against the numbers. You don't have to battle thousands of people, the pros, the sharks, and got to be like the top 10 to get any money. No. Just you versus the numbers. You pick 2 to 6 players to have projections, more than or less than. You can mix and match sports I like their reboot policy. If a player goes down with an injury, your pick stays in play. That's okay. And the flex play. I've hit not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 straight weeks. I am on an absolute heater with the prize pick selections. Geno Smith, I had more than passing yards. Tyler Lockett, more than receiving yards. And more than Christian Kirk receiving yards. It was all hit actually very comfortably this past week. I did the flex play because if I had done the power play, I would have only hit 2 of my last 5. But I've had 5 straight weeks thanks to that flex play. It's a great app. It's a great daily fantasy sports platform that's pretty easy to come out on top, especially if you guys know ball like all of you do. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's video. Again, it's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Overreaction number 3, the playoff hopes are suddenly in danger. Yeah, it's getting a little bit tight, and it was always, you still have some pivotal games you've got here in the next couple of weeks to keep yourself alive, but the AFC wildcard picture is in a not fun as a Bengals fan, but like fun overall. It is so compact. The difference between the number 1 seed and the number 6 seed is 1 game. 7-2 Chiefs, 6-3 Browns. The Bengals are losing a tiebreaker, and that's what's dangerous here. They have the tiebreaker over Buffalo. That matters. They don't have it over Houston. They don't have it over Cleveland, and they don't have it over Baltimore in a compact AFC North where the Bengals would be the obvious 2 seed in the AFC West, and they're dead last in the AFC North. There are legitimately 10 teams who are in a tiebreaker for a wild card spot or better. It's insane. So New York Times, their Upshot Simulator, I love it. Great, easy to use. Their playoff odds here. The Chiefs, 99% chance. Look, this factors in like spreads and everything, projected games. So it does kind of, realistic wins and losses, right? Dolphins are at 90. Ravens are at 89. The Browns are at 83. I'm a little surprised by that one. The Jags at 74 division. Steelers at 60. Texans at 52. Bengals at 42. By losing to Houston was a 15% swing, if not more. Because you would have been at least where Houston was, maybe closer to where Pittsburgh was. It's a tiebreaker game you came out on the wrong end of. You have to start winning. The schedule does get tight. We mentioned it. You've got the Ravens, the Steelers, the Jags. Can you win 2 out of 3 there? If you win 2 out of 3, I think you feel pretty good about their chances. So will the Bengals make the playoffs? This is what happens when you lose games early in the year and you play in catch-up. Those mid-season losses really sting because you were already behind the 8 ball. Will they make the playoffs? I still think so. Y for yes and for no in the comments section. Overreaction number 4. You got to blame Tyler Boyd. Yes, but also not just him. Boyd has to catch that touchdown, man. You can't drop it. That was a great throw by Burrow. Yeah, it's a little high, but not by much. And I'm a believer of Boyd was falling down. It's like it wasn't even that high. I'm a believer of if the ball hits your hands, it must be caught. And that was a ball that kind of hit him in the chest. So Boyd played well outside of that game. But again, I called it a one-play game. And when you go, instead of going 9 for 130 and a score, and you go 8 for 117 and a drop, one-play game, Bengals would have taken the lead. Maybe Houston goes down the field and scores anyway instead of trying to hold for the field goal, but Boyd can't do it. Also, Burrow can't throw 2 bad interceptions. Stroud had 3 turnovers. If Texans had lost and said, hey, can't have 3 turnovers. Not that Burrow was bad, not that Boyd was bad. It was a bad play. There were bad plays in that game by a lot of different players, but again, those one-play games, there's a lot of things you can point to, and nothing was more noticeable than a drop in the end zone. So who do you blame the most for the loss? There's a lot of options here. Really, no one is exempt from it to a certain extent. Who do you blame the most for this loss? Sound off for me in the comments section. Overreaction number 5. This is now a must-win game over the Ravens. I believe you get one must-win game each year. And then if you win, you can play that card again. I did not play it against Arizona And then the Bengals won, and they've held on. So I have not played my card. The Bengals played it themselves, so they can play it again if they want to. I'm not going to play it. I think even if you lose this game, you're not out of the race altogether. It's one you're not expected to win. You're a road underdog. It's fine. This is a massive game. This is a game that if you win, we all feel great about their chances. If they lose, it stings, but then I think week 12 against Pittsburgh, if they lose, I'll play my must-win card that week. So I'm going to keep that in my back pocket for now. Bengals are a 3.5-point road dog against Baltimore. They have not won a road primetime game in a very long time. And frankly, AFC North teams don't win road primetime games either. I forget what the stat was. Paul Denner had it at one point of it's like 13, or maybe like 20 straight, something like that. It's just an absurd number of they don't win road primetime games in the AFC North. It just doesn't happen. We will be live for it, though. At some point, they're due, right? We'll be live for Bengals Ravens. Hit that sub button to join us for a great stream right now.